Hello, fellow travelers. Guess what? I got to hear about a theme park that is located on Pasir Panjang Road. And what intrigued me was that I found out it used none of the bells and whistles of conventional amusement parks and yet packed in an uniqueness that is rarely seen anywhere else. So I decided that I had to check it out for myself. By the time I stepped out of the Haw Par Villa MRT station and headed towards the park entrance, a light drizzle had begun to blur my camera lens. The grinning visage of a pot-bellied laughing Buddha peered down at me from above a hill where the villa name stood out in big, bold red letters. A life-sized tiger structure, a mascot of the gardens, sat baring its fangs at me as I meekly passed it to approach the entry gate. The large, colourful structure with the name Haw Par Villa etched boldly on top led me into a long spiraling driveway that was bordered with several intriguing structures depicting characters from Chinese legends with the storyboards providing details on them. The house, as I learnt from one of these storyboards, was a gift from Aw Boon Har, an entrepreneur and philanthropist, for his brother Aw Boon Par, and hence came to be named after the two brothers and was called Haw Par Villa. Aw Boon Har was a man of diverse interests. While on one hand he was known to possess the intellect and drive to turn a simple local ointment recipe into a multi-million-dollar product which came to be known as Tiger Balm, at the same time he was also known to possess the desire to help later generations retain and continue the appreciation of values and beliefs that were an essential part of the Chinese culture. When he built the Haw Par Villa on a sprawling 3,800 hectare piece of land, he filled the gardens surrounding the house with structures based on Chinese folklore and mythological stories, which provided good insights on some of the vital principles of life. The house and the gardens surrounding it were built under his personal supervision. Both brothers believed that it would be a good idea to open the house for the public and use it to promote their Tiger Balm products. Hence, the Tiger Balm Gardens, as the house also came to be known as, became a popular travel destination frequented by Singaporeans on weekends and public holidays. Aw Boon Har had deep reverence for filial piety. The tall memorial built for his parents does provide sufficient proof for this. Right next to the memorial stood three life-sized structures of the gods of happiness, prosperity and longevity, Fu, Lu, Shu. I stood before them hoping to be showered with their blessings. Well, I don't know if my prayers worked, but the rain did stop and the sun came out nice and bright. As I ambled along the tiled pathway of the Haw Par Villa, I felt like walking through a storyland. Every story explains the true purpose of our life, a message that we all seem to be missing out in the current age. You get to see and read about legends like the one on Madam Whitesnake depicted on the walls. This legend is a love story about a white snake who was transformed into a beautiful woman and marries the love of her life, Fujian. When the jealous monk Fa Hai captures and imprisons Fujian, Madam Whitesnake, aided by the water spirits, puts up a fierce battle to save her husband. The story beautifully upholds the true Chinese values of courage, determination, and the bonds of family. You learn about the adventures of the 8 immortals when they invaded Neptune's palace and how the Queen of the Jade Lake acted as the mediator. You can read about the legend of Kangxi that talks about the bond between brothers. You can also see the depiction of the legend of Su Xin that exemplifies the importance of keeping hope alive despite initial failure, because hard work and determination always reaps the desired results. The story of the grateful tortoise, which explains the value of gratitude, the story of the 3 friends, and many more tales, each more educative and enlightening than the other, are depicted on every wall of the garden. Each story teaches us about values like love, family bonding, gratitude, hope, and so much more. Tableaus are built around themes like virtues and vices, friendship and loyalty, religious piety, determination and hard work, and many more. Through each beautifully built structure, the essence of righteous living is so appropriately expressed that it is indeed worth watching. I stopped for lunch at a cafe that displayed the famous Tiger car. Now, this was a unique marketing initiative of Aw Boon Har to promote the Tiger Balm brand. He would drive through the city streets in cars painted with bright orange, yellow, and black tiger stripes. A huge tiger head adorned its bonnet. Even the horn had a tiger roar. Now, there are plans, I hear, to revive this car and bring it back on the roads once again. And that is one sight I would definitely not like to miss. Post-lunch, I strolled over to another end of the park. 4 well-depicted dioramas that represented concepts like filial piety, the importance of family, the life of the farming community, and the 4th one was really unique. It really caught my attention. It depicted 2 large crickets facing each other, apparently in the mood to fight. The 2 are surrounded by a host of other animals like rats, monkeys, bears, elephants, who are cheering them on from the sidelines. Some also had a camera lugged onto their shoulder capturing the scene, while others had sticks and guns in their hands ready to continue the battle in case the warring parties fell. The name of the diorama was Fighting Crickets, and the plaque in front requested the audience's explanation of the scene. I came up with one of my own. What do you think would be yours? Send me your version in the comments section and let's see if we are great minds thinking alike. Just opposite this diorama stood a large cylindrical structure that housed 18 tableaus embedded within small square blocks. The structure, as I came to know, was originally a changing room meant for the Aw family members to be used after a dip in the swimming pool. Later, when the pool was no longer used, Aw Boon Har instructed the 18 windows of the changing room to be filled with these tableaus that represented multiple scenes from the lives of humans, immortals, and deities juxtaposed with those of animals. It hinted at the different rebirth cycles that are powered by the laws of karma. The karmic kaleidoscope, as read the label on the storyboard placed before the structure, was indeed a unique display. The entire garden is built on ascending layers or tiers. The original Haw Par house was built on the top tier. Red terrazzo tiled steps lead up to the place that is today surrounded by tall trees. However, the opulent structure is no longer present. Following the death of Aw Boon Par and after the Japanese occupation, Aw Boon Haw had the house demolished. Today, a large grassy area marking the memories of its once glorious past stares vacantly at visitors and tourists. Huge gorilla structures, the current residents of the area, provide some picture-perfect entertainment. Death does seem to mark a sense of final culmination. But Aw Boon Har wanted to see beyond that. He wanted to show us what lies in the afterlife, and hence he built the Hell's Museum. The interpretation of life may differ in individual faiths. However, they all somehow connect on death and what comes after it. As I moved past the gates of hell, I learnt about the 10 courts of hell that my soul will have to pass through from the moment it leaves my body. In the third year, my soul will reach the court of King Xuan Lun, where my soul will receive a final judgment to decide on how I will be reborn again. Once my judgment is declared, I will be moved to Grandmother Meng's pavilion to drink the elixir of rebirth to erase all memories of my previous birth, thus continuing the painful cycle of birth and rebirth till I attain moksha or liberation. Before reaching the final court of judgment, my soul passes through the courts of several kings who supervise different minor and major hells and provide punishment as per the sin committed in my life. The tableaus depict each of these punishments. The scenes can be really gory sometimes, but if it helps us reduce our sins even an inch, then it definitely makes sense. The Wangxiang Tai, or the terrace for viewing one's hometown, is often seen placed above a court of hell. It is also known as the home viewing pavilion. Now, this feature entails the torture of the mind, which is perhaps more painful than the physical torture inflicted in the courts. The terraces are built at an altitude, and sinners are depicted as gazing down on their hometown. They watch their loved ones, whom they have left behind, wallowing in grief and misery, losing them. They feel tortured, watching their beloved family and friends weep and pine for them. Sometimes it may be worse. They watch their family members ignore their death and move on. The Hell's Museum was indeed a humbling experience. It made me realize that in our race through life, we almost always ignore the inevitable that awaits us, the final judgment that we must all face, and before which we are all equally vulnerable. If you are in Singapore and still haven't included Haw Par Villa in your itinerary, I suggest you update your list and stop by for a look. It is sure to change the way you look at life and death. If you enjoyed our video and would like to join us for more such travel tales, do subscribe to our channel, A Storyteller's Backpack. Click the like icon and don't forget to send us your comments, because your thoughts and feedback are very important to us. Hope to see you on our next journey. Till then, take care and remain hungry for more stories.